Do you ever feel like your life is just constantly a tug of war between work, your personal life, and the other things you want to do? You keep hearing you need to have balance, and you try to have balance, but then you just end up working too much and feeling guilty, or you end up spending too much time on your personal life and feeling guilty that you're not getting things done at work. And this balance that everyone keeps telling you to have just isn't there. What if I told you that if you're looking for balance, you've already failed? That's because what we need to look for is harmony, not necessarily balance. Balance can only exist in a perfect world, and our world is far from perfect. In this video, I'm going to show you the F.L.O.W Framework I created to help you achieve work-life harmony. Not work-life balance, work-life harmony. Stick with me, and I'll show you how to stop surviving finance, but start thriving in it instead. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Mike. I'm a senior finance leader, and I'm a huge finance and automation nerd. But today what I'm talking about is a little bit different than our usual automation tools. I want to talk about how to set yourself up to thrive in finance. I've got a great system, the F.L.O.W Framework, that I want to share with you that's going to help you achieve harmony. 5 years ago in my career, I was pretty darn miserable. We were doing these quarterly closes where I'd be working 70-hour weeks. I was absolutely exhausted, and then I would come in after close and I would just keep working hard. Felt like there was never time for a personal life. I was missing my family, and I just was miserable and fighting against it. But what I learned was we know those things are coming. It was actually only 4 or 5 weeks a year that we were really in that crunch period. The problem was I wasn't planning my life around it because I was trying to have balance, and while I was working the 70-hour week, I was frustrated that I wasn't getting any of this balance time. Instead, what I realized is that I need to be a lot more intentional about the cycles of work. We know when the busy periods are. We know when the slower periods are. Let's plan around it. Let's openly communicate with our family. Let's have a plan to prioritize every part of our life. That's where the F.L.O.W Framework comes in. By the end of this video, you know how to forecast your work cycles, prep for the busy times, schedule the downtimes, and put in place boundaries that will make sure that you have work-life harmony. If that sounds good, let's get started. If you want work-life balance in finance, you've already failed. Now, this may sound like I'm saying just work harder or grind. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that balance is the wrong word. If you strive for balance, if you strive for every workday to have a balance between your personal life and your work life, you will always be disappointed, you will always be stressed, because that's just not how things work. Life and business ebb and flow with busy seasons and calmer seasons. And what we want to do is, instead of fighting against that, work with it to improve our life. This is where I came up with the F.L.O.W Framework, F.L.O.W. This is your roadmap to work-life harmony in finance. This is how you can achieve success without burning out. Because I know earlier in my career, I would go through a busy season, I would come out of it, and then I would work nearly as hard to keep projects moving, to do other work, to look good, and I wasn't taking advantage of the downtime. This is a marathon. Your career is a marathon, not a sprint. And you want to focus on thriving, not just surviving. So we're going to go through 4 key steps to master these cycles of work and life. That's going to be F.L.O.W. F, forecast your work cycles. Look at your calendar. Look 4 months, 6 months, a year out, and identify your busy cycles. We've all got them. We've got month end, quarter ends, budget seasons, forecasts, tax, audits, whatever is coming up, plan it out, map out the busy seasons. Do this on a calendar. Do it in your Outlook, in your Gmail, get a paper calendar, write it out, whatever works for you. And what you need to do is you need to prep for the chaos during the quiet periods before deadlines hit. So first of all, you need to know that this stuff is coming. You need to do prep work in advance, get your models ready, get your files ready, make it as easy as possible. But most importantly, start to communicate with your friends, your family about these busy periods, and know that you're going to be less available here. So before and after, you're going to make yourself more available. So this is where we want to start locking in deadlines, breaking tasks down, and just being ready for these busy periods, both in our work life and in our home life. Have any questions so far, or want to share a story of a time that you just let yourself get completely burned out? Go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I read and respond to every single one. I'd love to hear your stories, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you out. So what does this look like? Well, I've got a calendar here. We've got all of our months and our quarters, And I've started mapping out, we've got our forecast that happens at the end of each quarter, but not the end of the year because, well, there's nothing left to forecast. So these are the periods that I'm going to be the busiest. Black means just absolute, gangbuster busy. Light gray means that it could be busier, and we may need to be a little bit more available, but not nearly as bad. That's, budget season kind of has that ramp up and ramp down period. So this is our forecast. This is when we will be busy. Now we need to look at lining up our life. Before crunch time begins, prep our personal life. Do meal prep, spend extra time with your family and kids, get the house cleaned, get everything ready so you have less to do during the busy period at work. Use this time to prioritize your life. Tackle the stressors before they overwhelm you. You don't want to need an oil change to come due in the middle of quarter end. You don't want to have to be filing your personal taxes during tax season. Small preparation here is big payoff. So how do we line this up? Well, now I've looked ahead for the year and I've planned my vacations and I've planned slowdown periods. So we've got 3 different periods that are really good for vacations. That's when we want to take kind of an early summer, a late summer, and then a Christmas vacation. None of that's going to overlap with any busy periods. And then I've got a slowdown period. These are times that I'm going to intentionally work less hours, focus on stuff at home, focus on my family, really dial in on the life part to make up for the busy seasons at work. Now, again, this doesn't mean going down to 20 hours unless you're on vacation, but what this means is that we're going to ramp back and we're going to actively not push hard in these periods because we need to recharge, we need to recover, we need to prep, and most importantly, we need to focus on our life and spend time with our family. So instead of trying to achieve balance every day, you can see we're trying to achieve these cycles, these ups and downs. So this way you might be busy for a month, calm for a month. Busy for a month, calm for a month. But when you're not intentional about the calm, and I know I was really bad at this earlier in my career, you just keep working and then you're exhausted and burned out by the time you get to the next busy period. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to click the link down in the description and join my weekly newsletter, Finance Automation Insider. Every single Thursday, I'm going to send you automation tips. These could be new processes. These could be new AI tools, new hacks that I've discovered. I want to make sure you don't miss a single thing. So go ahead, click that link, get the newsletter. I'll also send you my free guide to 15 5-minute finance automations. That's right, 15 ways that you can automate your finance job in just 5 minutes each. You don't want to miss it. So that's F&L, but there's also O, and this is owning your boundaries. Because if you don't own your boundaries, other people will own them for you. Especially during the down periods, you need to set clear limits on your work hours. You have to learn how to say no to things without guilt. That can be both personally and professionally. You might want to, if you want to focus on your family, you might not be able to make commitments to friends, right? You have to prioritize the things that really matter and learn how to very politely and respectfully say no. You might need to turn down that 6 p.m. meeting on a day that's during your slow periods because that's the period that you're focused on rest and recovery. Also, we're really good at prioritizing meetings on our work calendar, but we're not so good at prioritizing personal commitments on a calendar. So put the important things down. Put date night down on the calendar. Put your kids' soccer practice down on the calendar. Make those unmissable meetings just like you would at work. And lastly, you need to work your downtime. This shouldn't be a time to just, sit around and watch Netflix, although you're more than welcome to do some of that. But you really need to use this time to recharge and refocus. And sitting around doesn't really recharge you or refocus you. You need to use this time to invest in your hobbies, spend time on your relationships, spend time on your health and your well-being. Do things that actively rebuild and recharge you, and just sitting around doesn't do that. Remember that harmony includes giving your life equal weight to work. Not on a day-by-day basis, but across the year. Making sure that your work and your life are in harmony. You're prioritizing your relationships, you're prioritizing your health, you're prioritizing being a good employee and getting your work done. All of this working together in harmony throughout the months and the year, not necessarily on a day. This is a very big mindset shift from trying to balance every single day. But boy, has this been absolutely life-changing for me. If you take away one thing from this video, I want it to be that you need to be proactively planning. You need to be looking ahead 2, 3, even 4 months, looking for your busy periods, looking for your down periods, and planning your life around that. And if you have people in your life, spouses, kids, families, friends, I want to make sure that you're openly communicating what these busy periods are, when the down periods are so that everyone can be on the same page. It's all about planning ahead, being realistic, but also carving out that time for the downtime and making that time sacred. That's all for today. I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, this is Mike signing off from F9 Finance. Cheers.